Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast with your hosts, Reese Downing and Jacob Workman.
Well, what is going on, everyone? Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NCAA edition, week 3 picks episode. Joining as always on the other side of the world, the co-host Reese Downing. Reese, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? How's it going?
It's not too bad. Kind of a slow week last week with a lot of mismatched games and a lot of high scores. It was an interesting week. Did end up with a few good games at least, though, to save the week.
I like the Sly Stallone over the top look you got going on today.
Of course, that's the it's the way it is. So last week I did hit my lock with Iowa State, and Reese hit his dog with Ohio. So we did both hit one of each. Like we said, last week was a little interesting. Some of the point totals from Saturday, Florida State with the weekend high of 77 points. I was a little disappointed. They needed 81 to get their team record, and they kind of called off the dogs. I was really hoping they would get that record. Just for some notes, Florida State has already scored more touchdowns through 2 games than they did the entire season last year.
It's insane. Yeah, you're upset that they didn't go for 81.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's a pretty drastic coin flip from last year to this year. I'd be happy if I were you.
It's so much better. Like the Gus bus might as well be the Bang bus because I love it.
Jesus Christ.
It's incredible. It's such a difference. It's what the world needs. We're going to see a little example in plays of the week later of a Florida State play to get to 77.
You know, in that game, you guys, what Deuce had like 5 catches for 170 something yards.
Yeah. Well, and Castellanos only played till about 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, it took him eight throws to get 3 touchdowns. He had 220, 230 yards passing.
Yeah, Deuce started like, I think his first 3 catches were like 144 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean it was the Commerce Lions or whatever the hell East Texas A&M is, but
East Texas A&M non-yell leaders, which is good enough for me. I like them. They were asked though.
They did their quarter. I didn't get to watch the game. Did the quarterback get hurt, or did they just like pull him out after like 4 minutes because he only went 2 for 3?
They barely had the ball. Well, it was that. They did switch some guys in and let some other guys play too, though. I mean, Florida State played. What was the number? I want to say we played 22 true freshmen in that game.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. For total between 3 quarterbacks, they had 7 for 13. That was the total passing. They had 197 total yards, 92 yards passing. That's a beatdown.
It was one of the more impressive games I've ever watched. So to go along with some others, so Florida State was the high with 77. Alabama had 73. Tennessee had 72. Ohio State had 70. Oregon had 69 against Old Gundy and Oklahoma State. UCF had 68. Nebraska had 68. Minnesota, with the boat rowing jackass, had 66. Utah, known usually for defense, had 63, and the tortilla throwers in Lubbock had 62 against mighty Kent State. So quite the high-scoring weekend. What was your takeaway from the weekend?
Yeah, I got a couple notes. First, we just talked about it. Florida State looks legit so far this year. You need to use the next 2 weeks to prep up for that massive tilt against Miami at Doak. Second thing I have here, Gundy's got his foot in his mouth. That mullet should be booted out of Stillwater before the season is up. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. We talked about this a little bit last week. I thought he was going to lose his job last year. There's no way in hell Oklahoma State should hold on to him for the rest of the year. They just need to move forward. South Florida, Byron Brown start to the season's been impressive. I'd love to see them officially claim ownership of the Sunshine State with another massive road upset this week against Miami. And then I think we've got a couple new guys to look at with the.
Hold on. Partial ownership. Some of us play Florida and Miami also.
Yeah,
some of us also play.
That's fair. Well, expectations are a little different between these two teams, but that's fair. My last note here, I think we got a couple new guys to keep an eye out for in the Heisman conversation. We didn't really talk too much about him in the preview show, but John Mateer is looking really good for Oklahoma right now. And Dante Moore, there were some questions around him coming into the season, but I think he's moved up into some Heisman discussion as well. I think anybody who put money on Arch is wishing they had their money back at the moment. We'll see what happens. It's obviously still early in the season, but Mateer and Dante Moore are both looking really, really solid so far.
Yeah, Mateer at least did it with a good opponent. I'm still waiting for Oregon to really play a good opponent to see what Dante Moore can really show. But I mean, yeah, so far you can't doubt what he's done. All right, so we're gonna move since we just talked about USF. We're gonna flip this the other direction. We're gonna go talk a little bit about Florida here. That was Florida's first home loss to a school from Florida not named Miami or Florida State since 1938.
Wow.
That school was mighty Stetson. Watch out for Stetson. Fans left Ben Hill Griffin Stadium chanting "Fire Billy." It was not a good look for him. A lot of people were actually surprised he got through last year, but that schedule was so tough. They ended up winning a few games later in the year that it kind of saved his job. So Billy in 4 years at Florida is 20-20 overall, 10-14 in the SEC, 6 losses to unranked teams, 0 wins over Georgia, a losing record versus Florida State, LSU, and Tennessee. He's 1-2 versus all of them. He only has 4 ranked wins. He's got 2 losing seasons and a 1-1 bowl record. From what I read today, Florida is already saying they have the buyout money if they need it. And the school has reportedly said that they're waiting a little bit later in the season to see how the rest of it goes. If you want some other indications on how their fans are reacting to this, on their message board, one of the posts was, "My wife got deported 2 months ago, and I am more upset with Billy than ICE," which I found absolutely hilarious. It's absolutely perfect. I mean, I love it when Florida sucks, so I think it's good. But Reese, what is your take on what's going on in Gainesville?
Well, let's start with the USF game, because a little over 3 minutes or a little less than 3 minutes left. USF missed that field goal. Florida should have ran the ball, but instead they passed twice. They only burnt 20 seconds off the clock before punting, and then they ended up losing that game. That's horrible coaching. You ripped through a lot of the stats that I had listed here. The only one you didn't is he's 14-7 at home. And then the other thing is I have no clue why they're waiting, because their schedule for the rest of this season includes LSU, Miami, Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State.
Yeah, it's just like last year.
It's just like last year, yeah. And DJ Lagway is not looking like he did last year.
No.
What are you waiting for? I mean, I honestly think that check was written last year. They just haven't put a date on it to get that buyout. I just put the man out of his misery. There's no way, even if he somehow turns it around and gets to another 500 season, especially with Florida State looking like they're looking right now. USF is playing well. Miami's playing well. I mean, Billy needs to go. Maybe they can put this dog on the screen as the head coach for the rest of the year.
That dog is every Florida fan watching his decision making. I don't know. They've got a situation going on there. I read something that some people were wanting Lane Kiffin to go there, and I thought that was odd. I mean, does he fit Florida? Yeah, but I just don't. I mean, it's just barely better than a lateral move. Florida probably has more money than Ole Miss, I guess, but I don't know. I'd be interested to see. I'd like a list to come out of like betting odds of next potential Florida coach. I wonder if this might be a long shot, but I wonder if even like Gruden would be on there. As close as he is to Tampa, like I wonder if that would be a potential. That I would not like. I mean, I wonder how he would be as a college coach, but I think he would definitely get some recruits. But hell, I don't know.
See,
Kids are so young now and don't care. They might not even know who the hell he is. So
I mean, I heard Gruden's name come up for Bama because of the whole like people calling for DeBoer's head already, which I think is idiotic. But
Yeah.
I mean, as a Kiffin fan, I don't want to see him go to the University of Florida. But I mean, there's some coaches out there for them to consider. Do you think old Urban hangs up the microphone and makes the return?
I don't know. I don't know how many more heart attacks he was willing to fake. So I don't know. I'm sure he's really loving working with that idiot crew he has to work with. So
yeah.
Plus Urban kind of, it seems like he still considers more Ohio State home than Florida at this point, like just by the way he acts. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it could potentially be something. We'll get to it when it happens, and I think it's inevitable at this point.
The Sporting News ranked the top 6 candidates to replace Billy, and they have Dan Lanning at Oregon.
No, that won't happen.
Which I don't think is going to happen. Lane, who you talked about, Jed Fish at University of Washington.
Yeah. I don't know if that's flashy enough for him.
Yeah,
I think they want a flashy hire.
Drink from Mizzou.
I don't know if that's flashy enough either.
Lance from Kansas. Leopold.
That would be the best hire for him, but I don't think they'll do that either.
And then the last guy, they would be staying in state to go after Golish down at USF.
Yeah, I think Florida is. I think Billy was their let's take an underdog shot coach from when he was at where the fuck was he? Louisiana, I think. God, I think he was at Louisiana.
Yeah.
And then, so I think he kind of was that. I think now they've got to go the other route and go, all right, who's someone big name we can bring in to make our fan base happy again? All right, so let's move on to Colorado. So, and I'll put a little caveat on this is Deion did come out today in a press conference and say he hasn't made a decision yet, which I find hard to believe seeing how they play Friday and today's Tuesday. So I think he's just not wanting to really expose it, but Colorado is expected to start Ryan Staub at quarterback this week against Houston on the road. It is also going to be their Big 12 conference opener this year. Last week they beat Delaware. Caden Salter started, then was replaced by Juju Lewis. So Caden Salter was the Liberty transfer. Juju Lewis is their huge recruit. Both of them kind of look like shit. So enter Ryan Staub. He was the backup for Shedeur. He came in, 2 quick touchdown drives. He was 7 of 10 for 157 and 2 touchdowns. Sanders has basically said he's going to handle the situation in a specific way. He's not really going to reveal it publicly. I did want to play this though, because if you see on the screen, I called him MLS. So we're going to play this little clip from last week, it was pretty great. It is a little longer, but it's worth it for Deion's payoff in the end.
What'd you see out of this guy who came in just before the half and balled out for you?
I saw what I've been seeing at practice for the last few years. Like, this is who he is. This is who he's always been. He just needed opportunity. That's all he needed.
Well, you're a team first guy. You're a backup to Shedeur. Stayed on this team this year with 2 quarterbacks coming in. Why?
I had a dream, and I saw something, and I just wanted to chase it. I love being here. I love playing for Coach Prime. And, man, I'm just so blessed I got the opportunity. All I needed was that opportunity, and we got more work to do.
Took advantage of it. Coach, how are you going to manage these 3 quarterbacks going forward with Houston next week in Big 12 play?
I got a plan. Like, I had a plan coming into this game. I have a plan. I don't know if I'm going to disclose it until we get to our destination, but I saw what everybody else saw today. Martin Luther Staub, that's what he said. He had a dream, right?
And, Ryan, what did you see from your team's performance here in a turnaround from week 1?
It was good, but we got to be better. We got to be better. We got to fix a lot of things, and we got to be sharp going into next week, and especially the rest of the season.
Appreciate the time, guys. Enjoy this win at home.
I love this kid, man.
Love you, Coach.
Guys, back to you.
He said Martin Luther Staub.
Yeah, Martin Luther Staub. We got MLS out here. He had a dream.
He had a dream, all right. Until he smiled about halfway through that clip. I didn't know if that dude had any teeth.
I know. And Deion loved the self pop there. You could tell he was waiting to crack up at that one. It was
For sure.
Perfect.
Hey, I mean, if Staub gets the go ahead, I mean, Salter didn't look that good against Georgia Tech, but Juju only went 2 for 4. Like, he didn't have a whole lot of time, and Salter didn't. I mean, what Salter? I'm pulling the stats up right now. The Salter was 13 of 16. He just had 102 yards. I mean, I don't think he played horribly, but
they just weren't doing anything though.
Yeah.
Like stats are stats. I mean, that's why I've never been a stat person for that reason. Is I like to watch the game. You get a much better understanding of what actually happened than. I mean, hell, I could look at Shedeur. I mean, I could throw 34 balls 2 yards or shorter and have 28 of 32 and look incredible. I mean, I don't know.
Does Staub give the dual threat option that Salter does?
I mean, he's not nearly as fast as Salter. He can run a little bit, but he's got a better arm. He came out the first play of the second half and threw a bomb for a touchdown. So
yeah,
I don't. It's interesting. The thing that I don't quite understand is Juju. Like, I feel like they haven't quite given him enough time yet, but I also understand he's a true freshman, so they probably want to break him in a little more. But I don't know. I thought Salter was an interesting person to bring in anyway, just because they went from Shedeur that can't run and can't really stay in the pocket, that can at least throw the ball. And then Salter is the opposite. He likes to run all over the place. He doesn't have that great of an arm. So it was a complete flip of their offense. But
yeah,
and Staub's more of the prototypical pocket quarterback that can throw. I think he gives them their best chance to win at this point, which is saying something. All right. We can get into plays of the week from last week. These plays are always kind of all over the place. We're starting with 2 real plays of the week, then we're going to get into the fun ones. So the first one I kind of mentioned earlier, Deuce Robinson from Florida State. Nice one-handed touchdown grab.
All on the 42, play action for Castellanos. Plenty of time. Wants it all. Robinson again. This time holds it in, but a flag on the play.
Deuce Robinson with a one-handed touchdown grab. It was nice until he got showed up a little later in the day by one of the best catches probably of the year. Jacoby Lane, wide receiver.
They had in week 1. Mayapa back to the air. One-on-one. Lane! Oh, no. With one hand! Ridiculous! Jacoby Lane! Come on! Pass interference. Defense, number 12. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
We said it last week, no touchdowns for Makai Lemon. Here's one for Jacoby Lane, his first of the year, maybe the catch of the year. A hold off, a double hold, push off with the left hand, go with the right hand. Join Jarrett Mike Williams.
Yeah, that catch was nasty.
Yeah.
Dude was holding his other arm, got a flag, and he's like, whatever. I only need one. So for our more fun plays of the week, this was kind of a big story on Twitter because it happened during a commercial break. And so obviously no one could really see it on TV. Missouri was playing Kansas last week in the border war. They brought a fan onto the field to kick a 45-yard field goal for a chance to win $25,000. Instead, he decided to pull up a shirt to reveal that on his chest it said FKU. And then he kicked the ball right at the Kansas sideline. Absolutely awesome. Here's the clip of this. So I know the video quality wasn't that good on that one. The guy's actually, he was an amputee, and he played wheelchair basketball for the University of Missouri. Then he said when he found out how long the kick was, he knew he had no chance of hitting it. So he told his wife that that's what he was going to do. The fans loved it, and that's kind of why you love college football. Just the nonsense like that of the hatred of the schools. One last plays of the week. We got a couple here. I'm going to show 2 plays and then show the halftime interview. Fresno State last week beat Oregon State. This is kind of what was going on for Oregon State. We'll start with first extra point attempt.
With his first career touchdown.
Well, he got free. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is a really nice story. Eddie Freoff for getting. Oh, wow. And this is another story today for Oregon State as they'll have a fail.
So the snap for the extra point goes about 900 yards over his head. Next, they had a punt attempt right before halftime.
And that's kicked. But going to be fielded on the run by Fresno State. There is a flag down for the kicking of the football, but it's run back into the.
So Oregon State was in the lead at that point by 1. The snap goes straight into the ground. The punter doesn't pick it up. He just kicks it. Fresno picks it up, takes it in for a touchdown, which led to this at halftime.
What do you tell your team in the locker room to settle everybody down and finish this thing off? Yeah, we're fine. I mean, we've allowed ourselves to create their success, both in special teams, fucking joke, right? And then on big plays on defense, 2 long runs for touchdowns that shouldn't exist. They did nothing to harm us. We got to stop killing ourselves. Appreciate the time, Coach. And we'll offer our apologies for that. Oops. Clearly emotions.
Only on the CW.
Yeah, that's right. Fucking joke. And Fresno went on to win that game. It makes it even better for them. God, what an absolute disaster of a week for that team. So that's going to wrap up our plays of the week. Let's get into the picks for week 3. First game, we actually do not have a line for because Indiana State is not good. IU, number 22 IU will be at home against Indiana State Friday night at 6:30 on the Big Ten Network. Number 4, Oregon is a 27.5 point favorite going on the road to Northwestern in their makeshift field by the lake. Northwest Medicine Field at Martin Stadium in Evanston, Illinois, 49.5 over under Saturday at noon on Fox.
Yeah, Oregon's looked good this year so far. That does include Dante Moore, we talked about a little bit ago, covering 4 touchdown spreads in the first 2 weeks of the season. Preston Stone's also been struggling to protect the ball for the Wildcats as well, so I'm going to take the Ducks here minus the points.
Yeah, I'm on Oregon too. Northwestern has not been very good, and Oregon's been rolling so far. I do want to see, though, Dante Moore on the road here just to get a little bit of a feel. I wish they would put that giant-ass duck that they took to Big Ten Media Day in Indy that first year they joined the Big Ten. I wish they'd put it right in that lake right outside the stadium. I think that'd be perfect for this game.
That would be great.
Next, this one is a big one. Number 12, Clemson, a 3.5 point favorite, going to Georgia Tech at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. 53.5 over under Saturday at noon on ESPN. And Haynes King was a full participant in practice today for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets are 500 against the spread as a dog the last 2 years under Coach Key. The big question mark here is Haynes King. Obviously, he's full health right now in practice. We'll see if he's actually going to be able to make it. I know that they were hitting at a lower body injury, and it sounded like Key said that's one of those injuries that can either be something that you come away quickly from, or it's something that could linger for 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and assume that King is going to play in this game. So I don't know if Georgia Tech's going to win this, but I'm going to take the Yellow Jackets here plus the points to keep it within 3.
Yeah, I'm on Georgia Tech also. Clemson's really been struggling so far. Even that game with Troy last week, I mean, realistically, they could have lost that game. So I'm going to take Georgia Tech at home. I do hope that we do have a healthy Haynes King, though, because I think that's a big difference. Number 13, Oklahoma is a 23.5 point favorite going on the road to Temple at the Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 52.5 over under Saturday at noon on ESPN2.
Yeah, Temple's Evan Simon's been a stud so far this year since transferring from Rutgers. He's got 9 touchdowns and no picks. Problem for them is they played UMass, removed the U and the M, and Howard, and now they're running into an Oklahoma team that's looked better than we expected. Owls are likely going to struggle to slow down Mateer and company. I expect the Sooners to handle Temple like they did last year with a less impressive team, so I'm going to go Boomer Sooner here minus the points on the road.
Yeah, Oklahoma, I mean, obviously they're coming off of a big game. They've got a lot of very big games coming up soon. It's kind of the middle, but I think they're way too good for Temple, regardless of where the game's at. I'm on Oklahoma. Wisconsin is going on the road to number 19, Alabama. Alabama's a 21.5 point favorite at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. 46.5 Saturday at noon on ABC.
Yeah, L.A. Monroe isn't exactly Wisconsin, but Bama did run it up last week while the defense posted a goose egg. Last year, Tide handled business on the road pretty easily behind a really good performance with Jalen Milroe. Ty Simpson is more likely to stay in the pocket, but I think the Badgers are still going to struggle here. DeBoer's feeling the heat a little bit. I think they come in here wanting to make a statement, so let's go roll Tide here to win and cover.
Yeah, I think Alabama, I mean, yeah, I know they were playing, but could it be that Florida State's just good? I mean, you never know. So I I think Bama's is going to be fine. They last week they seemed to hit it on all edges, and that was without Ryan Williams. I'm not sure if he's back this week. I would assume so because the usually concussions don't put you out for 2 weeks. So I would think he would be back. But Wisconsin to me is just a disaster. I think Luke Fickell's era is probably going to end here relatively soon. I like Bama to roll in that one. Central Michigan's going on the road to number 23, Michigan. Michigan's a 27.5-point favorite at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan. 41.5 over under Saturday at noon on the Big Ten Network. And leading the Wolverines to the field, Mighty Biff.
Mighty Biff, yeah, the Connor Stallions Bowl. Wolverines will not have Sharon Moore as he starts his 2-game suspension. The Central Michigan secondary has been bleeding passing yards to teams like San Jose State and Pitt so far this year. So I think Bryce Underwood and team should be able to get the job done here without their head coach. I'm going to take Michigan minus the points.
Yeah, I'm on Michigan as well. I probably could even potentially be a shutout. South Alabama is going on the road, number 24, Auburn. Auburn's a 24.5-point favorite at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. 54.5 over under Saturday at 12:45 on the SEC Network.
Yeah, South Bama almost got a W against a good team in Tulane last week. Davenport and Bullock both look pretty good for the Jacks so far this year. Auburn comes into this matchup ranked, and Jackson Arnold's look really good in Derek Nix's offense. 24.5 is a little salty, but I'm going to roll with the Tigers here minus the points.
Yeah, I just like what Auburn's been doing so far. I don't know if you saw there. Ball State was the recipient of quite the fourth quarter light show last week. I don't know if you saw that or not. But,
unfortunately.
So, yeah, Auburn going into the fourth quarter. This is a day game, so they're not going to get to do it. But, man, they got quite the production going on there. But, yeah, I think they roll in this one. South Alabama was surprising last week. They had the lead on Tulane very early. And I didn't watch the whole game to see what had happened. But I was impressed with what was going on for a little bit. But Auburn with Jackson Arnold, the way he's been going, I mean, I know they played Ball State, but they were still impressive week 1 with Baylor. Villanova, Penn State, we have no line, so nothing on that. Number 6, Georgia is a 3.5-point favorite going on the road to number 15, Tennessee at Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee. 49.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on ABC.
Yeah, Gunnar Stockton's been protecting the ball. Bulldog defenses look good so far this year. They've also won the last 4 in Neyland by over 30. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I do think Georgia's the better team. Would love to see the Vols get a W here, but I am going to take Georgia here minus the points.
Yeah, I just think Georgia's too much. I am interested to see Aguilar against Georgia's defense, but I think the lines are the big difference here. I think Georgia's line offensively and defensively are going to be too much for Tennessee. Oregon State's going on the road to number 21, Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 22.5-point favorite at Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas. 62.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on Fox.
Oregon State's defense has looked like a hot mess so far this year against Fresno and Cal, and now they run into the Red Hot Red Raiders at Jones AT&T. I'm going to roll with Tech here minus the points.
Yeah, hopefully they get their special teams fixed this week. That was quite the disaster last week, but yeah, at Texas Tech, I like them to keep this going. I think they'll cover that. Number 14, Iowa State is a 20.5-point favorite going on the road to Arkansas State, Centennial Bank Stadium in Jonesboro, Arkansas. 55.5 over under Saturday at 4 on the Deuce.
Yeah, Red Wolves are giving up 40 a clip so far this year. Cyclones won this 52-7 last year at home. So long as this stays staying under 21, I'm going to roll with Iowa State here minus the points to keep things rolling for them.
Yeah, I like Iowa State too. Hopefully there's not a letdown coming off of the big rivalry game last week. It is an interesting road spot here, but I do like Iowa State. I really like the way they've looked so far this year. I think they're a very good team. Louisiana is going on the road, number 25, Missouri. Missouri's a 27.5-point favorite at Memorial Stadium in Columbia, Missouri. 47.5 over under Saturday at 4 on ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus.
Yeah, Raging Cajuns had to pivot at quarterback after losing Walker Howard for the year, but neither have looked good so far. I think UL is going to struggle to keep pace with Mizzou, so let's go Tigers here minus the points.
Yeah, I'm on Missouri also. I was impressed with them last week, the way they ended up finishing that game against Kansas, even though they had a late touchdown to cover, which sucked, but I was pretty impressed with what they've been doing. So I'm going to be on Missouri also. UTEP's going on the road to number 7, Texas. Texas is a 41.5-point favorite at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. 51.5 over under Saturday at 4:15 on the SEC Network.
Yeah, I saw a stat that in the last 4 meetings between these two teams, Texas has outscored UTEP 206-30. I think the Miners are probably in for a long day. Arch is going to get another easy one under center as he looks to live up to the hype here. I'm going to take the Longhorn minus the points here in the massive spread.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't pick Texas in this spot, but because of all those blowouts last week, I think this is going to go along the lines of those. So I do like Texas in this one. There was a thing that came out because there was videos of Arch that looked like he was grimacing when he was throwing the ball, but Sarkisian came out and said it was nothing and it's not real. So I don't know. It seemed like it was real in the video, but let it all play out, I guess. Number 18, USF going on the road to number 5, Miami. Miami's a 17.5-point favorite at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. 56.5 over under Saturday at 4:30 on the CW network.
The CW, going to be more fireworks. USF's looked really good this year so far against some solid opponents. I said earlier I'd love nothing more for them to come into Hard Rock and shock the Hurricanes with an upset. I just have a feeling this team knows the juice USF is coming in with. They're going to be prepared. Last year was a tight game going into halftime, but then the Hurricanes turned it on in the second half, and they ended up winning 50-15. I think Miami's going to come out victorious, but I like seeing this game stay within 2 scores and a field goal, man. I'm going to go USF here in the points to hopefully get the game close enough.
Yeah, I'm on USF also. I really hope they end up winning this outright, but definitely the plus 17.5. Miami, it's hard to base it on because obviously the huge game with Notre Dame and kind of a shittier game last week. So it's kind of hard to really truly base what they are yet. It's gonna be tough to prepare for USF though in a week. It's different when you have all off season to look at Notre Dame. I think USF brings in a little bit of a different offense, but I do like USF to get the cover here and hopefully an upset. Ohio is going on the road to number 1, Ohio State. Ohio State is a 31.5-point favorite at Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. 52.5 over under Saturday at 7 on Peacock.
Yeah, Buckeyes defense has looked legit so far this season. Day's teams typically lay the wood on MAC schools. I like the Bobcats this year, but I'm going to go Ohio State here to get a big win in the shoe.
Yeah, I'm on Ohio State too. I one of their rare night games at home that they actually get to play. I think they'll be out to put on a killing. I like Ohio State in that one. Western Michigan's going on the road to number 9, Illinois. Illinois is a 27.5-point favorite at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. I actually think I just saw today that someone paid, what was the amount? 10 million or 100 million to get the name of this change. I think it's like Guy's Memorial Stadium now. So we'll have, though it will still technically be a memorial, we'll have one less just true Memorial Stadium. I want to say it was 100 million, which is crazy, but Illinois 27.5-point favorite, 50.5 over under Saturday at 7 on the One for Fun.
And Western Michigan's not looked great this year. Luke Altmaier and the experienced Illini roster has, so let's go Illinois here minus the points to win and cover.
Yeah, I was pretty upset with Duke. Duke started hot last week, and I thought they were going to be in it, and they just fell apart. I like Illinois to roll in this one. I don't think Western Michigan's going to have much to offer here. Arkansas is going on the road to number 17, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is 7.5-point favorite at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. 60.5 over under Saturday at 7 on ESPN.
Arkansas's been running it up this year with Taylor Green, albeit some subpar teams. But Bobby Petrino's got that offense rolling. Razorbacks are also 6-1 against the spread as a road dog since 2023. I like Ole Miss to get the W here, but I'm going to take Arkansas on the points.
Yeah, I think once Arkansas starts playing real teams, they're really going to see that they're not that great. I like Ole Miss to get the cover in this one. Florida is going on the road to number 3, LSU. LSU's at 8.5-point favorite at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 48.5 over under Saturday at 7:30 on ABC.
Yeah, 8.5 is silly in this. Death Valley, LSU's defense, Bayou Bengals here minus the points all day long.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is Florida and LSU typically have really good games. Like they typically are very close, competitive games. I just think the noise is too loud in Gainesville. I think it's going to be a tough road trip here. I like LSU to get the cover also. Number 16, Texas A&M is going on the road to number 8, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a 6.5-point favorite at Notre Dame Stadium in Notre Dame, Indiana. 49.5 over under Saturday at 7:30 on NBC.
Irish are coming off a bye. I think that helps them a little bit. They had tough loss, but perfect timing for a bye. Marcel Reed has a chance to cause some problems for the Irish defense. A&M struggled a little bit to slow down the rush, which would bode well for Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is going to squeeze this one out, but I don't like the 6.5. I'm going to take A&M in the points.
Yeah, it's kind of a trenches game to me. I think A&M might be better inside on both sides than Notre Dame is. And Notre Dame's only played one game. And remember, they had the bye week already. A&M's 2 games deep. I think that does factor in a little bit. I like A&M to get the cover in this one at plus 6.5. Vandy and Diego Pavia will be in Columbia, South Carolina. 5.5 point favorite, South Carolina at Williams-Brice Stadium. 48.5 over under Saturday at 7:45 p.m. on the SEC Network. A night game in Columbia. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
It's always one of the better atmospheres. We'll even get it going here. The light show, everything that goes on there, that crowd, I say it every year, it's the most underrated crowd in college football. Reese, what do you got for that one?
Yeah, Williams-Brice is going to be rowdy. This is a QB showdown. The Pistons going up against Sellers. South Carolina's won the last 16 in this series. I know Vandy would love to come in and play the spoiler. I just think home field's going to play an advantage here. Gamecocks are going to come away with a win, so I'm going to go with my boy and big brother Will's team here, minus the points.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I'm taking Pavia with the points. I can't doubt that guy. Like they outscored. I forget what it was something crazy, like 32-0 or 40-6. I don't remember what it was. Some crazy stat in the second half last week. They just completely murdered them. But yeah, I like Vandy. I know it is going to be a very, very tough atmosphere, but if there's one quarterback that I don't fear being in that atmosphere, it's Pavia because he thrives on that shit. So I think it'll be good. Number 20, Utah is a 23.5 point favorite going on the road to Wyoming at War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming. 48.5 over under Saturday at 8 on the CBS Sports Network.
Wyoming's defense has actually looked pretty good through 2, but they've not run into a threat like Devin Dampier in this Utes team yet. It's a little bit of a salty spread, but I'm going to go with Utah here minus the points.
Yeah, Wyoming a few years ago, even before Josh Allen and a little bit after Josh Allen, that was a place you just didn't want to go play. They always played really well at home. They're not really like that the last couple of years, and I really like what Utah looks like so far. I'm going to take Utah minus the points.
So just so you know, before we jump into the 6-pack here, we only picked 2 games different this week. We lined up on all of them except for the Ole Miss Arkansas game and the Vandy South Carolina game. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's crazy. That never happens. Getting into the Muncie 6-pack, Colorado is going on the road to face Houston. Houston's a 4.5 point favorite at TD ECU Stadium in Houston, Texas. 43.5 over under Friday night at 7:30 on ESPN.
Yeah, Willie Fritz has the Cougs off to a 2-0 start. Dion is 10-2 versus the spread in the last 12 regular season games. Houston may pull out a home win here, but I'm going to take Colorado and the points to keep it within a field goal.
I actually like Houston in this one at home. Big fan of Willie Fritz and Colorado in a road spot. I'm really interested to see what they look like and if Staub can keep it going or if they're going to have to play quarterback roulette with all 3 of them again. I do like Houston in this one, though. Kansas State's a 1.5 point favorite going on the road to Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. 55.5 over under Friday night at 9 p.m. on Fox.
A rough start to the season for Kansas State, while Fafita and the Wildcats are off to a 2-0 start. They look to avenge a tough loss last year at the Bill. I'm going to roll with Arizona here minus the points, or plus the points, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm on Arizona too. I like them at home. Kansas State, they've fallen apart. I'm not too confident in what they're going to look like. Got their families fighting and burritos and asses. I don't know what's going on in the Little Apple, but it's not good. I'm going to take Arizona. New Hampshire is going to be on the road facing Ball State. This is Ball State's first home game of the year. We do not have a line, so we're not going to pick it. It's Saturday at 2 on ESPN+. USC is a 21.5 point favorite going on the road to Purdue and Ross-Ade Stadium in West Lafayette, Indiana. 58.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on CBS.
Yeah, USC is traveling to West Lafayette for the first time since 1976. They are coming in pretty hot. They have been playing some cupcake teams, but they're putting a lot of points on the board. Coach Odom's got the Boilers starting off 2-0, but they're about to run into a tough stretch of games, and I think it starts here. I'm going to go Trojans here to win and cover on the road.
Yeah, I'm on USC also. I don't fear this is a road game that anyone's going to care about. I think USC will come in and just roll. They've looked really good so far. I do like USC. And Purdue, I'm still a little skeptical. The teams they've played have not been great, so I think USC is going to really expose them in this one. The Backyard Brawl, Pitt is a 7.5-point favorite going on the road to West Virginia at Milan-Pusker Stadium in Morgantown, West Virginia. 57.5 over under Saturday at 3:30 on ESPN.
Home teams won the last 3. Rich Rod's teams typically cover spreads as the host. Let's go West Virginia here in the points.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'll take the Pat McAfee team in Country Roads. Duke is a 1.5-point favorite going on the road to Tulane at Yulman Stadium in New Orleans, Louisiana. 54.5 over under Saturday at 8 on the Deuce.
Yeah, the Darien Mensa Bowl here. Tulane is coming off a big win against Northwestern while the Dukies hit the road after getting thumped by the Illini. I'm going to ride the wave here.
Yeah. Okay, our pick's been the same. I'm on Tulane also. Did you pick Colorado? You might pick Colorado.
I did pick Colorado. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there's our. But yeah, I like Tulane in this one. Duke really was unimpressive last week, like I mentioned earlier. When they fell apart, I kind of lost a lot of hope in that team, and I hate Manny Diaz, so it all helps. And speaking of coaches I hate, Minnesota is a 1.5-point favorite going on the road to Cal at California Memorial Stadium in Berkeley, California. 42.5 over under Saturday at 10:30 p.m. on ESPN.
That's Jake's type of schedule there. Gophers have won 6 of the last 7 on the road, put up 66 last week, even though the last 6 minutes were canceled due to weather. That was the most points in a game for them since 2001. It's a long travel road game for Cal. I'm going to go with the snake oil salesman here.
Oh, no. So this will be the only time I'm saying this all year because I'm going to keep referring to him as JKS because this is too much. But Jaron Kieve. Oh, God, now I got to remember his name.
JKS.
Jaron Kieve Songapula Tele. That's his name.
Well done.
Yeah, they're not going to get too many of those. JKS, anyway, though, true freshman quarterback. He was an Oregon commit, one of the top recruits in the nation out of Hawaii. Ended up flipping to go to Cal. My God, has he been impressive. He had the internet abuzz on the late night week 1. I'm really excited to see him in this game because Minnesota typically has a good defense, but this kid's good. I'm excited for 10:30 to watch Cal Minnesota, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be awesome. But yeah, I'm on Cal. I like him at home. All right. It is now time for our locks of the week.
Quack, quack. I'm going Oregon minus 27.5 over Minnesota or Northwestern, excuse me.
Reese going with the Ducks. I am going with the Georgia Bulldogs, a 3.5-point favorite on the road in Rocky Top. Like I said earlier, I think that they're too strong up front on both sides of the ball. Georgia's won the last 8 meetings, and every win's been by at least 14 points. I'll take 3.5. Sounds good. So that wraps up our locks. And Carter, dog of the week.
I love it. Yeah, go ahead and get that other sound ready to go. I am going West Virginia plus 220 over Pitt.
Take me home to the place
I belong.
Now let's go ahead and do that yell together. Pass it back, Ags. Hump it, Ags. 1, 2, 3. A-R-M-Y-T-A-M-C. Hey! Oh, Army, fight! Hey, 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 hey!
Take that, Notre Dame fans. Texas A&M going into South Bend at plus 210. I like A&M in this one a lot. I want to see what Marcel Reed does against the Notre Dame defense. I'm on A&M on the road at Notre Dame, and I had a little trouble picking my dog this week because there were a few I liked. So I threw this money line parlay together. Texas A&M plus 210, Cal plus 105, and Georgia Tech plus 140. A 3-team money line parlay is a plus 1425. I like that. I like it. Reese, any last words for the week?
No, man. Let's go make some money.
We will try. We will try. So we'll be right back here shortly with our NFL Week 2 episode. That is it for college. Like, share, subscribe with everyone. And like I said, if you're interested in NFL, we will be back here very soon. Hold on. We did just get a question. Have you picked for the Cyclones yet? Yes, that was Iowa State. I believe we were both on Iowa State this week.
Yes, sir. Both on Iowa State.
All right. So for Reese Downing, I am Jacob Workman. That is the end of NCAA Week 3. Like I said, we'll be right back with NFL Week 2. So goodbye, everyone.
Cheers, guys.